was in a lose-lose situation. Now, what came out still on top. With Floyd? You said, what was the lose-lose situation? What you mean? It was a situation that he put me in to, make me lose.
Talking about what Floyd trying to do. Gervonta Davis talking about Floyd trying to make him leave his...
Absolute chaos erupted at a busy airport when Gervonta Davis reportedly confronted Floyd Mayweather in a tense, unscripted face-off. According to witnesses, Davis approached Mayweather unexpectedly, with Mayweather's wife and his usual entourage of bodyguards standing close by. The suddenness of the confrontation seemed to catch Floyd completely off guard. Tension quickly escalated as the two men squared off, each refusing to back down, while the surrounding travelers stopped to watch the explosive moment unfold. Onlookers described the atmosphere as thick with emotion, and though security intervened before things spiraled further, it was clear that deep, unresolved issues had finally surfaced between the former allies, right there in the middle of a public space.
All that bullshit.
Yeah.
Whispers and unconfirmed reports about Floyd Mayweather allegedly training Lamont Roach, Gervonta Davis's next opponent, have ignited a firestorm throughout the boxing community. For Davis, this situation cuts far deeper than just professional competition. The notion that the man who once guided and mentored him might now be standing in his rival's corner has been viewed by many as the ultimate betrayal. Even without concrete proof, the mere possibility has added heavy emotional pressure to an already high-stakes fight. Davis is now preparing to not only battle Roach in the ring but also to face the looming specter of his former mentor's influence working against him from the shadows.
You know what y'all think I'm doing? I go there for a reason.
Over the years, Floyd Mayweather's actions toward Davis have raised difficult questions about his true intentions. Although Mayweather often praised Davis publicly and claimed to wish him nothing but success, his behind-the-scenes behavior has painted a much more complicated and unsettling picture. One of the most controversial moments came when Mayweather allegedly shared detailed insights about Davis's fighting style with Frank Martin, another one of Tank's rivals. Considering Floyd's intricate understanding of Davis's strengths, weaknesses, and habits, giving that information to an opponent seemed like a calculated move that directly contradicted his so-called loyalty. In hindsight, it now appears that Mayweather's mentorship may have never been as unconditional as it seemed, perhaps it always came with hidden strings attached.
Young fighters, he loves to embrace guys, so what was being around talking to Floyd? Like, what has Floyd taught you about fighting, and has it made you a better fighter? Because he could tell me all day to do that shit he does. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what does being around a guy like Floyd do for you?
He could tell you, go run at 2 in the morning. You know, go do it when, cause 9 times out of 10, we know your opponent sleep at that time. So go run at 2 in the morning and go give yourself a mental edge, you know, like, cause you know you out there working every night at 2 in the morning running. That's a lot of the times your opponent sleep. You know, it could be little things that'll take you to the next level. You know, that Floyd, a person like Floyd, like if he tell you that, you gonna take a lot of heed to it, and it's gonna give you a different type of motivation when you doing it. He could show you something, you know, and it could be the same thing. You know, you might not be able to do it like him, but just it coming from him, it'll give you like a different type of like feel about yourself.
Hold up, limitless, biggest to me, pinning it.
For Gervonta Davis, the emotional impact of these revelations was profound. He had long trusted Mayweather, not only as a promoter but as a mentor and guiding figure who had helped shape his career from the ground up. Realizing that Floyd might now be quietly working against him felt like a deep and personal betrayal. It wasn't just a professional slight, it was a wound that cut to the core of his identity and journey. Davis had always looked up to Mayweather as the man who had opened doors for him in the brutal world of boxing, but now he was forced to confront the painful reality that his former mentor could be actively contributing to his downfall.
Someone told Frank that
I was running at 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, Friday. He told Frank that. He was giving Frank tips and stuff like that. But I knew for sure that wasn't going to be enough to beat me. It's cool. It's all right. I don't really think too much of it. He's not going to hurt me. You know what I mean? So it's good to beef with him than be cool with him because he can do some crazy stuff. He'll put you in bad situations.
The rift between Davis and Mayweather grew even wider when Floyd recently teased a new documentary project that, according to him, will reveal explosive behind-the-scenes footage, including sensitive moments involving Davis. Floyd claimed the documentary would expose secrets that have never been made public before. Many within the boxing world see this as a final and public act of separation, a decisive move that signals Mayweather's willingness to air their personal history in front of the entire world. Rather than seeking a private resolution, Mayweather appears ready to make their deteriorating relationship a global spectacle. For Davis, the message is loud and clear: whatever they once shared is now completely, irreversibly over.
My documentary that's coming out, you guys gonna see 26 years of behind-the-scenes footage that you guys have never seen.
Calvin Ford, who has been in Davis's corner since the very beginning, didn't hold back when asked about Mayweather's decision to assist Frank Martin. Ford expressed his frustration and deep disappointment, saying that moves like this reveal a person's true character. As someone who has been a father figure and trainer for Davis since his earliest days in the gym, Ford's reaction highlighted just how personal this situation has become for Davis's entire camp. It wasn't just Davis who felt betrayed, it was the entire team. The pain of Mayweather's decisions resonated throughout the inner circle, leaving them all questioning the loyalty and authenticity of someone they had once trusted implicitly.
The thing I want to touch on is the Floyd situation. You know, Floyd is Floyd. That's like I say, tank is tank, man. But at the end of the day, you know, the man is chasing greatness. And you should be supporting that. I always tell you that. You should be supporting that, you know. It's a rocky road that we see what's going on. Just pay attention, man. The story's going to rebuild itself, you know. But again, that's how you burn bridges. Somebody said this is the true colors of a person that's coming out, man. They can't stand it, you know. Calm is I mean, I don't like using that word calm, you know, but our Lord knows. He knows. He knows. He knows.
In a surprising and defiant move, Davis chose to publicly discuss his fight earnings, a topic that had long been tightly controlled under Mayweather Promotions. By opening up about the financial realities he faced during his time working with Floyd, Davis sent an unmistakable message: he was no longer willing to remain silent. He revealed that he had been placed in what he considered to be an unfair financial situation under Mayweather's management. This revelation marked a pivotal turning point, symbolizing Davis's growing independence and his determination to take control of his own career, both inside and outside the ring.
In a lose-lose situation now, what came out still on top. With Floyd, you said, what was the lose-lose situation? What you mean? It was a situation that he put me in to, make me lose, but he thought.
You talking about like a boxing match or?
Yeah, boxing match.
Well, who, if you don't mind? If you don't want to, it's fine.
Who? Joseph Pedraza, my first world title. I was 16-0. I was 21 at the time, and I haven't fought in like 7 or 8 months. And around that time, I wasn't making that much money. I probably was making like $10,000 a fight. So 6 months is crazy to not fight, So when they came back and was like, all right, you gotta fight. He was like, you gotta fight this fighter, which is Joseph Pedraza. If you don't fight him, you're not fighting. You sitting on the shelf. So I had to fight him. In the midst of all that happened, I got evicted. I had to sell my jewelry. So now, and remind you, I'm letting them boxers that you talking about, I'm putting them on game, letting them know what's going on. Like, see, this was happening. Like, you feel me? I'm letting these guys know. So when it be like people saying they want to fight me, it's
like, how could you, nigga? I was the one that was giving you game when I was going through it.
Yeah.
When I was at the lowest part of my career, I was telling y'all niggas how so you wouldn't have to get here. And now it's like betrayal almost.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you think Floyd did that intentionally?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Why? After so much time, after like, I guess, again, after what we think he helped you come into the game, he gave you the spotlight, like why would he try to diminish your career?
Because at that time I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't want to bring up but it was somehow that they were saying that I was messing with his daughter off of the fact that she kept Snapchatting me.
Okay.
She kept hitting me on the Snapchat, so they sent it to.
Davis hasn't shied away from speaking openly about how his relationship with Mayweather has changed over time. He's been candid in explaining that, behind closed doors, Floyd's private actions haven't always aligned with the supportive image he projects to the public. Davis strongly believes that his relentless drive to surpass Mayweather's legendary accomplishments may have quietly triggered a sense of resentment in his former mentor. The painful realization that someone he once idolized could now see him as a threat has been difficult to process. Yet Davis now views this possible jealousy as a key reason behind Mayweather's recent moves to support his opponents. For Davis, this evolving dynamic has transformed his mission. It's no longer just about winning fights, it's about breaking free from the shadow of Floyd Mayweather for good.
People don't know that what Floyd do. A lot of people don't know what Floyd. Everything that Floyd said right there, the chrome heart band, the Maybach, the Lloyd shit, that was all in my post.
Oh, that was you posted that. You posted that. Oh wow.
Chrome bag.
Right.
Lloyd shit. Maybach.
Oh.
He said.
So you feel like it was a sub, like he was subbing you, like
he was going at me. He was going at me, and I knew for sure he was going at me. That's why I went at him. There's no reason for me to go at Floyd. Floyd don't never. He felt as though I'm at that point where I passed him. And I'm doing it at a young age. Like when Floyd was 29. You'll see, bro.
Yeah.
That deal that I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, that's a part of
deal. He don't know about that yet. But that's bigger than his deal.
For years, critics have pointed to the notion that Gervonta Davis's opponents may have been carefully selected to protect his unbeaten record, potentially shielding him from the most dangerous challenges in his weight class. Many within the boxing community suspect that Floyd Mayweather played a significant role in orchestrating these matchups, strategically shaping Davis's path to maximize his success while minimizing risk. Although Davis's talent is undeniable, some believe that his legacy will ultimately be measured not by a perfect record but by the caliber of fighters he faces and conquers. The concern is that his true potential may have been constrained by overly calculated matchmaking, leaving unanswered questions about how he would fare against the absolute elite of the sport.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis is one of the most overrated fighters in the sport of boxing right now, and not because of his skills, but because of his resume, and resume does matter. In my opinion, he's a victim of what I call Terrence Crawford syndrome, where you have a really bad promoter who only wants you to fight in promotion fighters who you know that they can 100% beat. If Tank Davis wants to be great, he's going to have to fight one of the other champions in the two divisions that he fights in, 135 pounds and 140 pounds. I'm going to list off all the champions in those divisions and tell you if I think he can beat them or not. So first we got the only other full champion in 135 pounds, Shakur Stevenson. If they fought, I think Tank has a good chance of maybe knocking him out in the later rounds. But if I had to bet my house on it, I would say Shakur Stevenson would beat him in a close decision, and it would end up probably being a boring fight. But I think Shakur has the skills to beat Tank Davis over a long 12-round fight. Now we have Subriel Matias, who's a scary Terminator-like fighter who gives up the early rounds to come on later and drown you in the later rounds. But he's very stiff and he doesn't have very good footwork at all. I think Tank Davis will probably, box his face off for most of the 12 rounds. There might be some trouble in the late rounds. But if Tank can stay out of trouble, I think this is one of the few champions that he would beat, but I don't think he would fight him. Now we have Pitbull Cruz, who Tank already beat by a close decision, and Tank beat him with a broken hand.
Floyd Mayweather has always portrayed himself as a mentor to the next generation of boxing stars, and his early involvement in Davis's career perfectly embodied that role. He offered Davis more than just advice, he provided exposure, marketing power, and invaluable experience from a fighter who mastered the sport at the highest level. For years, their partnership appeared unbreakable, with Floyd proudly positioning himself as the architect behind Davis's rise. However, as Davis's profile grew, he began to push for his own identity, seeking to emerge from Mayweather's shadow. What once seemed like a perfect mentor-protege relationship has since shifted into something more complex, with Davis determined to chart his own course, even if it means stepping away from Mayweather's influence.
Do you will come back to boxing?
Oh no. I'm not coming back to the sport of boxing. The sport of boxing was good to me. I was able to make a lot of smart investments on the outside, and I just want to help. Like I said, the fighters that's up and coming. Like I was talking about, like Gervonta Tank Davis. I don't understand why he's not in the top 10 pound for pound. Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, Benavidez. The list goes on. There's so many tough fighters out there. So many great young champions out there.
Even during the most successful periods of their partnership, Davis sometimes felt constrained by Mayweather's overwhelming presence. Floyd was often the loudest voice in the room, and his celebrity status frequently overshadowed Davis's own achievements. Tank wanted the freedom to make independent decisions, to choose his opponents, and to have a greater say in his career trajectory. Leonard Ellerby, a key figure within Mayweather Promotions, confirmed that Davis was never locked into a binding contract, which further empowered Tank's decision to step out on his own. This evolution marked a critical turning point. It was time for Davis to stop being known as Mayweather's protege and to fully embrace his role as the leader of his own legacy.
Some confusion. Is Tank a Mayweather Promotions fighter still? Is he not? What is his his involvement with Mayweather Promotions, or is it just all still PBC, Al Heyman?
Yeah, Tank is not signed to Mayweather Promotions.
Okay.
He's not signed to Mayweather Promotions. His contract ran out,
yeah,
and that's fine. But as I always say, contracts don't define relationships.
In recent months, the growing tension between Davis and Mayweather has become impossible to ignore. While Davis has been careful not to launch direct verbal attacks, his choice of words, his demeanor, and his increasingly independent moves have made it clear that he no longer views Mayweather with the same trust or admiration. What began as subtle distance has now evolved into a visible and public divide. Their once tight bond has frayed, replaced by cautious public statements, occasional jabs, and a clear acknowledgement that their paths are moving in opposite directions.
He didn't know how good I was and how I would have handled the situation, so he just threw me out there. What did he do? He was hurt. I mean, not even hurt. He was just bad. First of all, Floyd don't never want to see no one like a fighter do better than them. Why the fuck would you say Terrence Crawford should fight Benavidez? That don't make no fucking sense. He don't never want to see nobody be better than him. I'm telling you.
Who's next in line? Just so you're next in line.
Is there like a
last question, guys?
Is there like a love-hate for Floyd though? Like,
yeah,
the fighter?
Yeah, I love the fighter. Like, I ain't gonna lie, if he was like chill, like he'll be the smoothest. But he's not. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter. And my bad. And
you're good, man.
And he cause I don't want to say like he's just a scumbag, but it's like he's a great fighter, and sometimes he can be good, but it's like it's always I'm this.
Despite the mounting conflicts and emotional separation, Davis continues to demonstrate a level of respect for Mayweather's accomplishments. He has never publicly dismissed Floyd's greatness, nor has he expressed any desire to challenge him in the ring. That humility speaks volumes about the foundation their relationship was built on. Even now, as Davis fiercely pursues his own legacy, he remains mindful of the role Floyd played in shaping his career. Their story is complicated, filled with mentorship, betrayal, success, and separation, but it's never been entirely devoid of admiration. Davis simply no longer wishes to live in Mayweather's shadow.
How would you fight Floyd in his prime? Like if you were to fight Floyd, like in
Don't
his prime,
fight him.
if you guys were both in the, yeah.
Don't fight him. I wouldn't fight him. I mean, Floyd was good. He was top tier. I mean, me, I feel as though I could compete with any top fighter. I'm not saying me going at Floyd, but I'm saying like I feel as though my skills, I feel like my skills, and not to take nothing from Floyd, but I feel like my skills can compete with anybody that ever laced up a boxing glove.
You're crazy to watch.
Davis has become more transparent about what went on behind the scenes during his time with Mayweather Promotions. He has started to openly discuss how certain career decisions felt orchestrated, as if he was being positioned more as a marketing asset than as a partner. While Davis acknowledges that Mayweather provided him with critical opportunities and exposure, he's also made it clear that he's focused on building his own legacy now, one that isn't defined by anyone else's blueprint. For Davis, the future isn't about rewriting the past, it's about owning the next chapter entirely.
Floyd outdoing him. He always been like that. You know what I mean? So I gotta focus on what I'm focused on. He already did what he had to do, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Me, if I did what I like what he did in the sport, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be the same way. You know what I mean? So I don't follow him for like stand to himself and things like that. You know what I mean? But it's also a part of me type thing, like come back and help too. You know what I mean? So it's much love to the whole Mayweather promotion. You know what I mean? Ain't no bad blood type shit. And a lot of people think like when I be tweeting on Instagram, I be mad. I just be talking.
Mayweather frequently reminds the public of the role he played in Davis's rise to stardom, often taking credit for Davis's career milestones. While some of these claims are factually correct, they've also become a source of irritation for Davis, who is striving to be recognized on his own merits. Tank wants to be known not as a product of Mayweather's machine but as a fighter who carved out his success through his own grit, skill, and perseverance. The recurring narrative pushed by Mayweather has, at times, made Davis feel like a secondary character in his own story, a feeling he is now determined to erase.
Davis, he was a young kid, came up to me when he was a kid, wanted an autograph. I signed his phone for him and told him, "You'll be world champion someday, and I'll be your promoter." Years later, he was working with some people from our team because our team is huge. We got guys in DC, Baltimore, Philly, New York, all around. He won a few fights. I think he was like 8 or 9-0. I told him, in under 24 months, you'll be world champion. Made the right moves, put him in the right position. He's a multi-millionaire now.
Absolutely.
He was a kid that couldn't even buy a bus ticket. Now he's a multi-millionaire.
Now that the drama and the distractions are in the rearview mirror, Davis's focus has sharpened on the fight that lies directly ahead. His upcoming bout at the Barclays Center against Lamont Roach isn't just about defending titles, it's about defending his name, his pride, and his right to control his own legacy. This isn't simply another fight on the schedule, it's a defining moment where Davis can prove that he no longer needs anyone's shadow to shine. The critics who question his resume, who challenge his toughness, who doubt his place among boxing's greats, Davis plans to answer them not with words, but with undeniable skill, relentless power, and decisive victory in the ring.
Prospering, and he's got a big fight coming up 3 weeks from now in the Barclays Center in New York, in Brooklyn, New York, against Lamont Roach, the 130-pound WBA champion, fighting for the 135-pound WBA championship. Now, Gervonta Davis put out a tweet and said, "This is greatness. Don't let anybody fool you or convince you otherwise." And I agree 100%. And I know that there are people that are going to come to this comment section and say, who did he fight? What did he do? Who did he fight? What did he do? If you pay attention to boxing long enough and you watch boxing long enough, you better believe you're going to hear that same question being said about every fighter in Gervonta Davis' situation.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates in the next one.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more exciting videos, make sure to hit the bell icon and stay updated. Subscribe to Boxing Hub now for all the latest in boxing.